Hi friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today we are back with another Polish Pickup wishlist video. So if you don't know, Polish Pickup, or PPU for short, is this monthly pre-order event that takes place on the first weekend of every month. There's always a new theme and a ton of indie brands get together to create polishes or other hand and nail care products. This month is especially exciting though because every July the theme is Rewind, which basically means we get to see a lot of popular fan voted favorites come back. I actually think every brand brings back 2 polishes, but only one of them is available through the Polish Pickup website, and then the other polish is available through their brand respective website. So if you don't see a polish that you were hoping would be back for a PPU, you might see it in the brand's shop instead. I would definitely recommend checking out the brand's social media pages just to see what they're going to be bringing back and when, because unfortunately not all of that information is going to be on the Polish Pickup site. But anyway, I will talk some more at the end. For now, let's just see what's coming back for Rewind. Okay, so here is the Polish Pickup website for Rewind this month. So let's just go straight into the nail polish. And okay, so this first chunk here, immediately I am drawn to the atomic polish, but I will wait on that for a second because the first thing that caught my eye was the Amaya Cosmetics? Amaya? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. This one looks so much like Penelope Luce's Funny Tree, which I had just talked about in my polishes I regret buying video. And I don't think that one is coming back, so you might want to get this one if you're looking for a Funny Tree kind of dupe. I think this one has a little bit more of a pearlescent or almost metallic sort of finish. Whoa, this one looks... Oh, wait, this might be the second one. Right, okay, our second polish, Graveyard Ghoul, will be listed on the website. So, okay, that is a totally different shade. I was like, whoa, the shifts are crazy. But yeah, so Penelope Luce's Funny Tree, I think, has a little bit more of like a true shimmer kind of finish, but color-wise, I would say it's pretty similar. I mean, at least going off of like these types of photos, it looks like it has the same kind of shift. So I just wanted to highlight that. I know Alchemy Lacquer's Oddities is another really popular one, especially for my Prugly lovers. I'm sure you're gonna love this. I personally am not the biggest fan. Like initially when I saw it, I was like, oh, this might be a great dupe for that one Mooncat Green, I think Apple of My Eye from the Surrealism collection. But I feel like this has a weird kind of like pigment. I don't know if that's like the shimmer. Yeah, it just has a purple to red to orange shifting shimmer, but it kind of looks like it has these little like gray specks in there, which I personally don't really love, but I think it adds to the prugliness of it in a good way, maybe. This Art as Nails is also really eye-catching, but immediately I am reminded of Mooncat's Mermaid Bait. I think it's just as shifty, having like that blue base, but in certain angles it looks very like yellowy green. So yeah, just wanted to mention the immediate kind of dupes or alternatives that came to mind. But like I mentioned before, the one that really caught my eye was Atomic Polish's Sour Apple Rings. I am just so tempted to pick this one up. It's one that I definitely would love to add to my wish list, but recently Cirque brought back High Society with their California Dreamin' collection, and I feel like that is just a little too similar for me to justify getting this one. I will say I do think Cirque's is a little bit more green. Like some of these photos of Sour Apple Rings do lean more green, but I feel like in the majority of them they're more like yellowy because of that golden shimmer. It also says that this one is opaque in 1 to 2 coats, so I imagine that this is going to be a much more opaque kind of formula than Cirque's. So if you were on the fence about High Society, if you're not a fan of the sheerness, I definitely would recommend this polish. It is just so beautiful. So yeah, that's pretty much it from this first chunk here. I mean, the all mixed up lacquers actually is kind of reminding me of Kathleen & Co.'s Rosary Pea, but I'm pretty sure they're bringing that back this month, so you don't need to get that as a dupe. Well, that one's $13, so I don't know, maybe it's a little bit cheaper. But anyway, moving on to the next chunk here. I am not not immediately really drawn to anything here. I guess if anything, the cupcake polish blurring base coat immediately reminds me of Polish for Days Soft Focus in Briar Rose, and I think that one's cheaper, but I guess if you're shopping polish pickup anyway, you know, you might as well grab this one. I don't know, but yeah, other than that, I'm really not seeing anything that I can think of as like dupes or alternatives, and nothing is really catching my eye personally, so we'll just keep it moving. Okay, so here, the chameleon nails. I know this one was like pretty recent, wasn't it? I feel like it looks so familiar. Yeah, I think this is from that space themed one a few months ago. This is so stunning, but like I said in that one, it kind of reminds me of a Cirque polish, like one of their shimmer graphics. This one does have reflective glitter in it though, so I don't think Cirque's does. It definitely is really pretty though, super sparkly. You know I'm always a sucker for that aqua blue kind of shimmer in a purple base, just so stunning, but not one that I will add to my collection. I also saw Caitlin swatch the Cleona one, and oh my gosh, so stunning. But another one that kind of reminds me of Mooncat's Mermaid Bait, but this one is a little bit more of like a, almost like a flaky kind of finish, like a micro flaky or a large shimmer particle. It kind of has that same look though, you know what I mean? So again, definitely can skip out on that one. I think the Colores de Carol is really beautiful. Not unique enough, I think, to add to my collection, but it's really pretty at the same time. It just looks like a night sky. This came out in November of last year. I don't remember what the theme was for that, but super gorgeous. Just, I love a nice deep blue navy. Just from seeing this first kind of little collage here, I was like, oh, you know, this kind of reminds me of Powder Perfect's Nottingham, which is a polish that I've shared a couple of times on my channel, but it's like an oldie, not around anymore. And every time I share it, there's always people asking like, oh my gosh, like, do you know of any potential dupes? And I don't, unfortunately. I wouldn't say that this is one, because this is like a lot more sparkly, like it has a larger sort of flaky going on, and then this shimmer, but still just so beautiful. I wanted to highlight it for a moment. The Crystal Knockout is actually really cute. I just want to look at it because this is just such an adorable shade. I wish it wasn't a thermal though. I think I honestly might be tempted by this if it wasn't a thermal, because if you don't know, thermals just have a shorter shelf life. They really can vary. I've had thermals die after only a year. I have some in my collection from coming up on 4 years now, so it really varies depending on the quality of the pigment and also like how you store your polishes and whatnot. So yeah, as much as I am such a sucker for cutesy pink heart-shaped glitters, all of that, I will not be adding this one to my collection, unfortunately. So that pretty much covers the polishes that I'm interested in, at least for this chunk, so we can finally move on to page number 2. And I am definitely so sad that Danglefoot did not bring back Irresistible. I'm honestly kind of surprised. This is Tears in the Rain, and it doesn't say in the description, at least, when it originally came out. I mean, it is a beautiful polish. I feel like the base color kind of reminds me of Cirque's Velveteen, but a little bit darker actually, or even a lot darker depending on the photos. Super stunning, especially with that like red contrasting shimmer. Oh my gosh. Actually, I like really do love this one, but I'm not gonna get it. I am tempted by it for sure. It is really beautiful. I think it's one that I would love in like the fall and the winter time, but I'm going to hold off on it for now. And actually, it doesn't even really say on the side in the description what's going to be the second polish coming back that's going to be available in like the Danglefoot website. I kind of wish that they included that. Like, I don't remember already what brand it was that I was looking at the photos and I was like, whoa, the shifts are like so crazy. But I do appreciate that that brand included the second polish in here as well, so you can just easily reference it, you know what I mean? So okay, anyway, the only one from here that I was like, I am gonna get this because I regretted skipping out on it was Dreamland Lacquer's Shake Your Shamrock. I know so many of you guys have this polish, love it, that you talk about it whenever I'm asking you guys like what you're wearing or what polish you're enjoying. This is an absolute stunner. I do remember seeing a comment that there was somebody who didn't like the formula because they said it was like too thick, or that they didn't realize that this one dried down matte, which I don't think, yeah, it doesn't really say in the description box about the finish or anything. I personally don't mind a matte polish, but yeah, the color is so gorgeous. I feel like in a way it does remind me of Polish for Days Baja Blasted from the recent Night Glow collection, which if you watched my window shopping video, you know that I didn't pick up that collection, but that one is one of the top ones in my wish list. I think this one is a little bit more neon though, but I am gonna add it to my wish list for now because now I'm thinking, okay, should I go with this one or should I get the Polish for Days one? I guess I have a few days to decide, but if anybody has both of them, please let me know your thoughts. But okay, so I'm pretty sure that's it from this chunk. I'm not really drawn to anything else here. So moving on. Oh my god, Ethereal Ether Dragon. So many of you guys told me that this one was going to be coming back because I've talked about how I regretted skipping out on this one. It was only from last November, and I know it doesn't look super out there, like so different from other ethereal shades, and absolutely no shade to any of the swatchers because they obviously do a fantastic job. I hope they were all compensated well for their beautiful photos, but I have been most blown away by actually seeing like real life photos, if that makes sense. Like personally, I love how the polish looks in this photo where it's like outside in natural lighting compared to when you're in studio lighting. It just doesn't do the shimmers justice in my opinion. So the real world photos that I have seen of this polish have made me just regret skipping out on it. So yeah, I'm gonna be adding this one to my wish list. I did recently pick up Ethereal's Careful I Bite from a few months ago from I think the video games month, kind of hoping that it would be like a good alternative for this shade, but I feel like that one has a lot more like purple or pink in it, which you kind of see in certain angles here, but yeah, it's just it's not the same. So as annoying as it sounds, I kind of want to have both to be able to compare and wear them myself and then see which one I would want to stay with. I know it's like such a silly thing, but okay. Anyway, let's keep it moving. The only other one that's really catching my eye here is the Great Lakes Lacquer Come Again. I vaguely remember this one. A smoky navy glowing with red to orange to gold shifting aurora shimmer. You know I'm such a sucker for a red shimmer. This came out in last March. Sorry, I forgot what year we were in for a second. Absolutely stunning, just a moody kind of shade, but I think I can skip out on this one. Oh, I think I remember a few of you guys talking about this polish because I had tried my first Graceful last year. I think it was called Raindrops or Rainforests in Raindrops, something like that, but it was basically the emerald green version of this. And then I think the following month they came out with this one, Walking in Wonderland, which is a blue version, and it looks so beautiful. Oh my god, absolutely stunning, like sapphires on your nails. I am tempted, I'm not gonna lie, but honestly I feel like I could sort of recreate the vibe with Holo Taco's, I think Sonic Unicorn Skin, right, is the blue one. It might need to be layered up a couple of times or like sponged on or something, but yeah, pairing that over like a deep navy blue like KB Shimmer's Stream On Stream Away or something, or maybe even with one of Cirque's jellies, because obviously in certain lighting the blue like really glows. Super gorgeous, but I will sadly be passing out on that one. No, not passing out. I will be passing on that one. So okay, we can just keep it moving to the next chunk here, and I am not really interested And anything here? I mean, the Chrysabelle designs, don't touch the calico bush. I do remember seeing swatches of this one. It looks really pretty, definitely up my alley, but at the same time, I feel like I have polishes with like a similar vibe at least. Like not an exact dupe by any means, but I feel like this kind of reminds me of Mooncat's High Fructose, which actually isn't around anymore. And right, this one also has like reflective glitters, so it does have like a kind of gritty look to it in certain lightings, which I don't always love. Like I think if it was just a shimmer or like a micro glitter, I think I would like it a lot more. Super cute though, but I will be skipping on that. So now we can finally go to page 3. And okay, this lemming lacquer, I just want to look at this. Like I'm not gonna get it because I realistically do not wear polishes like this. I feel like it's just such a bold purple, and I personally think I'm just way too pale to pull it off. Absolutely stunning though. The way the shimmer just glows is unreal. It kind of reminds me of Linby's Tentacool, I think it's called, but just with the intense like blue shimmer in a purple base. That's the first one that came to mind, and that one was also a PPU shade from a few months ago. I actually don't remember when exactly. Lumen is bringing back Glass Jellyfish, which is tempting. Honestly, I know there's like so much, you know, controversy, I guess, right, with Lumen and their polishes and misleading swatches, especially with like Glass Frog. I do have Glass Frog and I was pretty underwhelmed by it. I honestly think if you never picked up Glass Frog, you haven't picked up a Lumen because you're just not really sure. I do think Glass Jellyfish is what Glass Frog should have been, if that makes sense. Because again, I don't have this one, and I know it looks really sheer here, so maybe this isn't the best photo to reference. But yeah, a lot of the Glass Frog photos looked a lot more purple, if I remember correctly. Like they looked more opaque, basically. But then it ended up being just a lot more sheer when people were trying it on themselves. So just based off of the photos, to me it looks like Glass Jellyfish is a bit more opaque. You get more of that purple base, but it's still sheer enough that you could wear it as a topper if you wanted. But yeah, I will definitely be skipping on that one. And oh my god, finally we have one polish coming back that I actually have. This is Linby Designs Frosted Light. This one I think came out last December, and I love this polish. Easily would buy it again. I'm not going to because I don't need to. There is that part of my brain that's like, oh, but do you want a backup though? Because, you know, this is so beautiful. Like, I love this shade. I highly recommend it. It definitely is sheer though, so, you know, maybe I don't recommend it to anybody who doesn't love sheer polishes. The shimmer definitely is strong, so in certain lighting, like more indirect lighting where it just diffuses the shimmer, it makes your nail line a little bit more obscured. But it's like one of those shades where, you know, in certain angles you definitely are going to see some nail line. Again, that doesn't bother me, so if it doesn't bother you, I highly recommend it because it is just so pretty. I'm actually really happy to see that one's coming back. So, okay, now there's nothing else that's really catching my eye from here, so we will move on. And, oh, okay, this polish looks really pretty. It is like just so glowy, but realistically, I feel like this is one of those shades that I would love to have in my collection because I just don't have anything like it, but it's not one that I would end up wearing that often, you know what I mean? Oh, but it's so pretty. Definitely giving strong mermaid vibes. And oh, they even included a photo. I'm assuming this is, yeah, the second shade. Thank you, Polish, for including the second polish that's going to be coming back. I kind of wish it had the date. I guess I'm going to assume it's going to be back in the shop for the whole month of July. I wish there was a little bit more info on that, but anyway, back to the main polish here. Beautiful mermaid vibes, but I'm not gonna wear it, so we're gonna move on. The Paint It Pretty polish, oh my god, this one was also kind of tempting me. It's called 1 Foot in the Ground, inspired by graveyards from last September. You already know that I just love these kinds of shades. And oh my god, they're bringing back Kiss This Guy, which I think, okay, see, yeah, it says it's gonna be available for the whole month. We love that. Thank you, Paint It Pretty Polish, for having that. I'm not gonna be getting either of these though. The 1 Foot in the Ground shade kind of reminds me of a potion polish that I have called Spiced, but I think this one is a lot lighter. Spiced is like a few shades deeper, maybe more of like a red base. Like in this collage, I feel like it reminds me the most of Spiced. So yeah, beautiful polish, but we will be skipping it. Oh, I'm happy to see that Noodles is bringing back Dunky Junky. This was like inspired by Dunkin' Donuts. Very cute. You know I love a cute little Crelly. I love Noodles. I also do love Dunkin' Donuts, but I haven't had it in forever. And oh my god, they're bringing back It's Freaking Bats. And okay, see, this is a pre-order and this is only for a weekend, I'm assuming. So that is good to know. I'm gonna maybe write that down to like look up more swatches of this one. I probably won't get it because it's more of like a seasonal polish, and I feel like I have so many like Halloween specific type of shades, so I don't really need another one, you know, just to like see more swatches because they're cute and I love Noodles. So okay, let's go back here. The Night Owl Lacquer and the Penelope Luz look beautiful, but not really catching my eye personally. I remember hearing about Phoenix's Girl Dragon coming back, and I saw Caitlin swatch to this one and I was kind of tempted by it. Like, I love that it has this sort of chocolatey brown base. Like, this photo is definitely my favorite. I think if this polish looked like this all the time, I would add this to my wish list. I probably would buy it. This does also give me Mooncat Love Bomb vibes, so I don't need it, but it's pretty, you know? This pie colors actually looks also incredibly beautiful. Like, it looks so magical in this photo because of how it looks in the bottle. Like, you see that gold, but then you don't really see that on the nails, at least not in this photo. You see it more here. I feel like this also kind of gives me mermaid vibes, maybe like a little bit darker, but just super stunning. And ooh, okay, here's their second polish. Does it say what that's called? Paradise Blue .000. I'm not sure what that's a reference to, but it looks really pretty. I'm trying to think if I have a dupe for it, and it kind of, in a way, reminds me of Mooncat's Wish I Hadn't Cried So Much from the Alice in Wonderland collab last year. But this looks like it has more of a predominant kind of like red flaky. Wish I Hadn't Cried So Much had more of like a mix of flakies. It's more so like that baby blue kind of base that I think is the most similar. So yeah, not really dupes, but super stunning either way. So okay, let's just move on here. And oof, polish for days, goblins and ghoulies. I know everybody and their mother is excited about this one coming back. Oh, they only have one photo. I guess that's all they need. I will not be getting this one. Not because I don't think it's a beautiful polish. It obviously is. It is just so incredibly glowy. That blue shimmer with a purple combo, like 1-2 punch, I am out. But again, it's like just one that I wouldn't really wear. Like, even with Lynn B's Tentacool that I mentioned not that long ago, I don't even think I would wear that as a full manicure. And that one's even darker. So you know what I mean? Like, I just know this is a beautiful polish, but I don't need to add it to my collection. Okay, so no surprise, I'm also immediately drawn to that Psyche Minerals Ghastly Smell. Okay, yeah, this is from January of this year. It is so pretty. Oh my gosh. I love that it's described as a raspberry jelly base. I don't know why, but just describing colors as fruits is so appealing to me. I don't think I have a reflective glitter in this kind of color, and it really is so tempting, but I'm gonna hold out hope that KB Shimmer will release one because I actually don't love that there's flakies in this one. So yeah, as pretty as it is, I'm gonna hope that KB Shimmer will put out a raspberry reflective just like this one. And okay, yeah, from here I'm not really into anything else, so we're moving on to page 4, the final page. And oh, okay, there's a lot more actually up here. Oh, I remember when this one came out, Sovereign Beauty's Teen Spirit. This one was actually tempting to me. I don't know if that's surprising to you, because I'm not sure how many. I assume people would kind of look at this and consider it like a Prugly shade, and you know, I can see that. I guess that's fair. I think it's so pretty though. It's a murky green with golden shimmer and silver reflective glitter. Honestly, I think if this didn't have the reflective glitter, I would be so sold on it, but it still doesn't look that gritty. I guess because the base is a little bit deeper, so I usually find that silver reflective glitters, or just reflective glitter in general, like stands out more in lighter color bases. But yeah, I love that it's like this army camo kind of green. It is army chic, if you will. I don't think I want to add it to my wish list, but I might change my mind because I feel like this is one of those shades I would love to wear in the fall. So I'm gonna have to think about it. I guess maybe that means I should put it on my wish list, huh? But yeah, that's the only one I'm feeling from there. So for this final section here, the only one that I think is really like catching my eye is the zombie claw. I want to have boobies? What? What is this from? Inspired by the Pussycat Doll song. I thought it said I want to have boobies, not what the actual lyric was, which was I want to have groupies. Oh, that is so funny. Wait, that's actually hilarious. I love it for the name. I mean, I do love it for the polish itself. Like, it's a beautiful, glowy pink. But I was gonna say, it reminds me of cracked polish, feed me treats, something like that. Kind of like Mooncat's A Midsummer's Dream, but that one's a little bit more pearlescent versus how shimmery this one is. So yeah, it's pretty. I love the name, but I can definitely skip out on that. So lastly, we will look at the hand and nail care to see what scrub KB Shimmer is bringing back, and it's watermelon sugar. Okay, inspired by watermelon. That tracks. I do like watermelon, but I don't think I want to get this one. I feel like the scent is a little too basic for me. Let me see. It says notes of ripe juicy watermelon, fresh picked strawberries. So yeah, it smells sweet and scrumptious, I'm sure, but I think I can skip out on this one. So okay, I guess we can just look at my wish list now, and I have 3 things, which is a lot smaller than I was expecting. I mean, I guess originally it was just going to be 2 because the Sovereign Beauty was a very last minute addition. I didn't realize that was going to be coming back. And I feel like I'm still on the fence because honestly, until I saw this on the website, I kind of forgot about it. But seeing it again made me realize like how much I liked it, and it's just a green that I think is so beautiful. So I think I might actually go with that one. I'll try a Sovereign Beauty out for the first time, you know, see how it goes. And then I have Ethereal Ether Dragon, which I already explained. It's one that I regretted skipping, so I'm excited to add that to my collection and do a little comparison for Careful I Bite and see which one I like more, if it's worth keeping both of them or not. And surprisingly, I'm actually maybe reconsidering Shake Your Shamrock, which I know might sound crazy because I know like how well loved this polish is. It just is so in your face. I think this is more neon than Baja Blasted, so it looks like the Dreamland is more of an opaque kind of base with a more densely packed kind of shimmer particle compared to what Baja Blasted is like. It is so hard to say. I don't know. Dreamland is 15 mls for $13. Baja Blasted is $13.50. That is honestly kind of surprising. I thought that the polish for days was going to be cheaper. So okay, I guess I'll go with Dreamland Lacquer, you know? Yeah, I will keep that in my wish list. So I just have these 3 unless I end up adding something else, but it's just these 3 for now. So that wraps up my polish pickup wish list for Rewind. I definitely would love to know what you think of what's on my wish list. Are you surprised at all? But more importantly, I would love to know what you think of this month's offerings, because I definitely was surprised to see some of the shades. Or I guess maybe I'm more surprised at what I didn't see on the site. I was hoping that I would see a lot more of the polishes that I had picked up over the past year, just because anytime that I share any of those shades, I always get a ton of comments comments saying like, oh my gosh, I regret not getting this one. So it would have been nice to see some of those come back. The only one again that I saw was Linby Designs Frosted Light, which again, I highly recommend. I really love that one. And like I mentioned so many times that there is going to be a second polish available. Thankfully, some of the brands did include that on the website listing for the PPU polish. I honestly wish that all of the brands did that just so it's easier to kind of see what is going to be available, because I completely forgot to mention that Polish for Days is going to be bringing back Barbie on the Boardwalk in her own respective shop. And I am so excited for that one. I definitely will be grabbing it because it's another shade that I just always think about, like, why did I not get that one? I remember when it first came out, I definitely thought it was too similar to Mooncat's Merkitten. And even more recently, Cirque bringing back Flamingo with the California Dreamin' collection. They're definitely very, very similar vibes. And speaking of those comparisons, I actually do want to give a big shout out to Alyssa from Reality Green over on Instagram. She actually did a whole like highlight on some PPU shades that are coming back and comparisons. So I will have her highlight reel linked down below because she shared a lot of comparisons for polishes that I didn't talk about or that I don't have. I know that she did compare Barbie to Flamingo and Merkitten, and they definitely, again, are very similar, but I think as a certified pink lover, I could justify all three of them. And I did also see that she compared Sour Apple Rings to Cirque's High Society, which, like I mentioned, the Atomic polish is a little bit more yellow leaning, and it looks to be like the better formula of the two. It's just more opaque. And while I do think those are different enough to justify having both, I personally am gonna be skipping out on the Atomic one just because High Society is already like enough for me. I think if Cirque didn't bring back High Society, I definitely would grab Sour Apple Rings, but as much as I do love lime green, it's just not the same as my love for pinks. Yeah, I would love to know what you think of PPU this month. What is on your wish list? I know a lot of people usually kind of like go crazy during Rewind. So I'd love to know how it does exist already on like the Polish Pickup Facebook page, but I don't use Facebook, so I have no access to it. Yeah, make sure to leave me any and all thoughts that you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.